let's have a look at your discussion options. So over on the left-hand side, settings, and then into discussion. I think we've been in this screen a couple of times. I was just trying to remember that, but just before I hit record, I was trying to remember if we've been here before. But anyway, you remember this stuff from before. I know I've shown you this before, the default article settings allowing the trackbacks and the pingbacks and the comments and so on the new articles. I know we've talked about that. But I don't think we've talked about the other comment settings. So here we go. Comment author must fill out their name and their email. So whenever someone is going to add a comment to your blog, they've got to put in their name and they have to put in an email address. The commenter must be registered with the blog and logged in to comment. Interesting. You could use that if you want to control things a little bit better. Automatically close comments on articles older than X number of days. Kind of cool. You can certainly set that. Enable threaded or nested comments 5 levels deep. This is cool for, replying. And this really sort of spurs on conversation. Now, what starts to happen is the other commenters start replying to one another, and that really kind of gets the conversation happening. So you might want to use that option there. Here's another setting if you want. Break comments into pages with X number of top-level comments per page and the first or last page displayed by default. So you can break things up there if you want to kind of control the length of your pages. Comments should be displayed with the older comments or the newer comments at the top of the page. So that's your call again in regards to that. Email me whenever someone posts a comment. A comment is held for moderation. Now, before a comment appears, an administrator must always approve the comment. So it doesn't matter who's commenting, it always has to be approved there. It's always subject to approval. You can mark that off if you want. Or here's the default setting. The comment author must have a previously approved comment. So if they don't have a previously approved comment, then it's going to go into moderation, where we have to manually go in and approve the comment. But as I was saying in the previous exercise, I keep these two guys off, and I just let people go crazy. They can write what they want, doesn't really matter. And if I find maybe it's a little offside or, it's kind of getting a little spammy or something like that, then I'll go in and do some moderation. But I like to encourage the conversation. And, when you're surfing around the web and you post a comment on a blog, you want your comment to show up right away, right? So anyway, I try to encourage the conversation there. Now, we have some additional moderation options here. Hold a comment in the queue if it contains 2 or more hyperlinks. Definitely a good idea. A common characteristic of comment spam is a large number of hyperlinks. When a comment contains any of these words in its content, name, URL, email, or IP address, it will be held in the moderation queue. So what we could do inside this field here is we can type in phrases or words that are kind of suspicious, and if someone uses any of these words or phrases, it's going to catch it and then throw it into the moderation queue. So for example, I'm trying to think of an example here for you. Maybe something like great deal. Now maybe someone doesn't mean that in sort of a spammy sense. Maybe they're saying, hey, your Dreamweaver DVD was a great deal. Or maybe they're saying, hey, here's some great deals on some prescription drugs, right? So you might want to put that in there. Or maybe, I'm trying to think of other examples for you. Florida real estate? I don't know. I think you probably get the idea. I'm kind of grasping at straws here for you, but I think you probably get the deal. And you could probably put some things in here that would relate more to your specific blog, your specific industry, things like that. But anyway, you can mess with that. This next box I love, though, the comment blacklist. When a comment contains any of these words in its content, name, URL, email, or IP, it will be marked as spam. Awesome. So I can come in here and I can type in Viagra. If anyone so much as mentions Viagra, boom, marked as spam, right? Or, I don't know, casino. Now, maybe that's... There we go. Maybe that's a little dangerous. What if someone says, hey, I was in Las Vegas and we were at the casino and I happened to notice, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But you might want to watch out for that. Maybe online casino or something like that. Anyway, I think you get the idea. You can certainly set up this blacklist if you want. And then below that, have I shown you this before, the avatars? I think maybe I have. I don't know. I'm going to blast you through it real quick here. This is the avatar display, the icon that's going to show up. This guy right here, the little picture there, the little graphic, avatar or gravatar. There's mine. You remember this guy? So what I can say is don't bother showing avatars, or go ahead and show avatars. I like the avatars. Kind of gives it a little something. And then we can set our rating, so G, suitable for all audiences, or possibly offensive, usually for audiences 13 and above, you know, that kind of thing. And then the default avatar, for users without a custom avatar of their own, you can either display a generic logo or a generated one based on their email address. So the mystery man is the default avatar, this fella here. Or I could use any of the others. I could go blank, I could go gravatar logo, or, you know, whatever you want there. So that's pretty straightforward. I think you're probably fine with that. Once you're done, click on Save Changes, and that's really all she wrote in terms of your discussion settings in WordPress. So hopefully all good, and I think I will leave the sort of the topic of commenting and moderating your comments and all that. I think I'm going to pretty much leave it at that. I think I've pretty much covered all the bases there. I would love to show you next, though, how to get into creating additional accounts on your WordPress blog so that other users can come and create content for you. So let's take a look at that next.